Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be doing a much requested video on how I make my thumbnails for my video. Now thumbnails I feel are super duper important because they are the eye-catching thing that's going to make people click on your videos. If your video is advertised with someone else's video or beside someone else's video, it is definitely something that grabs the eye and it's your advertisement for the video. So I do think that thumbnails is something that you need to spend a bit of time with. Now, in no way do I say I'm an expert, but I'm just going to show you a few tips and tricks that I know that could possibly help you. So I've got these two girls here that I need to make thumbnails for two cast videos that I've done. I've got this girl here and this girl here, and today I'm going to make the thumbnails with you to give you an insight. Now there's two different ways that I tend to make thumbnails. There is the cheating way, i.e. the very easy way, or you can go for a more in-depth approach. So what I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to start with the easy way, and then if you want to see the more complicated way, then I can do that as well. Hopefully this video won't be too long, but I'm trying to do things step by step to make it easier for you. Okay, so the first thing you're going to need is a mod called Pose Player. Now if you don't know how to install mods into your game, I will link my tutorial below which will tell you how to install mods and custom content, so you can look at that. If you want to know more about Pose Player and how to install that, I'm going to link below Nicole K's video for Pose Player and how to install it, because if I had to do that as well, this video would be so long. So I'm going to assume that we're all set up with our mods folder and we've got our pose play, and this is how we are going to do it. So I'm going to move this plant. Now what I've done with this room is I have whited it out. Whited it out sounds so technical. White wall, white floor, and it just gives us a good base for our girls here to get their photo shoot taken. Because what Pose Player does is essentially gives you a little photo shoot for your Sims. You get different positions you can put them in, different facial expressions, and it means that they stay still for you, so it allows you to take a picture. So you're going to go with testing cheats enabled true, and then you are going to go for by debug. And I'll tell you why in a minute. So first of all, we're going to get our Pose Player, which is in the buy mode in your Sims. And then I am going to go for the Pose Player. Now it's in decor and is one of the cheapest items that you can buy. It's in the, I believe, miscellaneous. There you are. And there it's there. So what I tend to do is just take it and set it. Now I haven't started this game up, so it is a slightly laggy. Now if you wonder what these squares are extra lighting, and you get them by using the by debug, and what it does is it brightens up the room, and these are the ceiling lights, so you just get the lights, and these are in the miscellaneous objects. So you've got daylight ceiling and you've got normal ceiling area lights. I tend to just do the normal ones. And what you would do is just put that along the room, and you can see how that brightens up the room. Because you can use Pose Player and you can take pictures with it, but sometimes the Sims might be a little dull. So it's important that you do highlight them and light up the room. You also get these ones here which are on the wall. These are a little bit further down, but I would recommend placing these round about your Sims because it will make a big difference. What we're then going to do is add in the cheat move objects on. Move objects on. No. Move objects space on. And that will allow you to pick up your Sim. Now you can see the difference between there with the no lights, okay, and then putting her in that light. So she looks so much brighter. It's not a very good pose for her, but she looks so much lighter and brighter, and you can see her face and you can see her features, etc. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put her in a pose. So you want to go back to live mode once you've got that. And then you are going to, oops, wrong one. You are going to select pose from list. What that'll then do, if you've installed it correctly, is it should bring up, press play, it should bring up a full list of your poses. She's still talking to her. Can we get a pose sometime this year? Thank you. So I have got all these poses. They are a lot. They are a lot. So I'm just going to try and find one that I like. Alright, so these are some of my favourite ones. These are kind of like the model poses, if you like. So I'm going to try and go for that. Now, the reason I like these ones, she's excited, is because it gives good sort of facial expressions on your sim there. So that one's quite cute. I do like that one. So really just, you know, play about until you find the right pose, and I'll do that and I will be right back. Okay, so once you have a pose that you like, now it always takes me freaking for ages to find a pose that I like, but I think she looks pretty cute like that. I think I might change her actual eyebrows, but anyway, this is about a tutorial. So what you're going to do is you're wanting to go into the camera mode, and now this is the kind of cheat mode, okay? So this is going to make it super duper easy for you to actually do that. Let me go ahead and put the plumb bob above her head. Now, if you have a white background and you go for the sim, okay, so we're just going to do that with the sim and leave the white space to the right hand side of her, because you can kind of see where I'm going here. With the white space at behind her, we can put the text beside her if you want to make it super duper easy. So again, white background, and you're going to press C to capture. Now, she will be saved in the Sims 3 game launcher, so she will. So she will be saved. You would do the same with the other sim. I'm not going to show you exactly what I would do, but we're just going to take this girl for reference. In fact, because I need to do both thumbnails, I'm going to do Tabitha, and I will come right back. Okay, Miss Tabitha, I'm ready for your close-up, so you're just going to go ahead and do the exact same with her. She's so super cute. She is absolutely cute as a button. I'm going to go with that. Again, I'm going to do it on the white background and just kind of do a photo shoot for her. Get an up-close one, an up-close and personal, so you can see her face. I actually do prefer her to the other sim, but you know. Okay, so this is how I take the photos for my thumbnails. So let's go ahead and get started with the tutorial on putting it all together. Alright guys, so we're a few minutes into this just now, so I don't want to have this tutorial super duper long. So what I'm going to do is split it into two different videos, and I'm going to do the basic version, which is coming up. Well, I mean, it's not basic, your thumbnails will still look great, and then I'll teach you how to use GIMP, which is a free photo editing software. Yes, I said free, and it's quite easy to use as well. So to locate your screenshots, you're going to go into your documents folder, you're going to go into electronic arts, you're going to go into the Sims 3, and you're also going to go in then to your screenshots. Now I've already removed the screenshots and I've put them on my desktop just so I know where they are and they're easy to work with. So you're just going to open up your Internet Explorer or Firefox or Google Chrome, whatever you use, and you're going to go to the website called PicMonkey.com. Now shout out to my lovely girly Sims 3 Copper Fox who showed me this website, and I have used it with every single thumbnail that I've ever done ever since. You can do a whole bunch in this. You can edit photos you already have. You can touch up photos that, you know, face photos that you have with like wrinkle remover, etc. Or you can design your own or do a collage. So I always go in first of all to design. Now primarily this website is free of charge to use, but they do have a Royale version which gives you just extra bits and bobs that you can do to jazz up a few things. So what you're going to do when you first get it is decide on what kind of thumbnail that you want to do. Now the screenshots that we took were on a white background, so that's really what we want to work with. So we are just going to resize this first of all. Now the YouTube thumbnail size is 1280 by 720. Now because that's not a perfect proportion, you want to untick the keep proportions and you're going to type 720 in there, and you now have the size of your YouTube thumbnail. Now in the advanced technique, we will be looking at things like canvas color, where you can change this to suit yourself, exposure, colours, that sort of thing. But because we're putting our picture that we've already taken on top of this one, we don't need anything here apart from the resize. But you've got a lot of options down there, and all of them are free of charge. You also have a section which is the effects. Now there's lots of them. Anything with a crown is your Royale feature. I think it only cost me £29 for a full year of access, and I've literally used it with every video, so I've got my money's worth. So you've got a whole load of things here that you can use, but what we're most interested in at the moment is the overlays, because we want to bring in our thumbnail or screenshot of what we've done. So you're going to go to your own. That opens up your computer to give you some options, and then just for demonstration purposes, I'm just going to use this one. Now what you need to do is obviously make this bigger, so you're going to make this the exact same size as the paper or the basic paper that you have. Just going to make it bigger. Now if you want her positioned differently, you can make her bigger to how you want her to be. You don't have to fit it exactly. Okay, so you're just going to do that, and then that gives you the overlay. Now then what you're going to do is go up to the top here, and you'll see this down arrow, combine all image elements. So that then attaches this overlay to the bottom canvas. There we go, canvas. Now what you can then decide to do is you could add a whole bunch of symbols like fire and stuff. But why you'd want to do that, I don't know. But you know, you never know. If you're making it for maybe another game and not The Sims, then you might want to, depending on what it is. But some of the things here are cheesy that you can add on, like you could give her like sunglasses and and stuff like that, but we're not interested in those kind of features. You've got some nice ones down here like stars and fireworks and smoke and fire. They're quite interesting. And then your scrapbooky, you've got some good banners going on here, engraved banners, you know, that type of thing. Some ribbons, which are nice. So down the bottom is mainly where you'll get your kind of your good stuff, if you like. Now what I am going to do is I am going to show you the text part. Now they have loads of text for you to use, loads and loads and loads of it. Again, the ones with the crowns on it, they're the ones that are in the Royale. But seriously, if you don't buy the Royale, you can still get, I mean, there's loads that are free, so you can still make good thumbnails without having to purchase this, but it just gives you more options. Well, it gives you full options if you actually do use it, and that's, I like the full options. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some text to this. So I'm going to use one of my favourite ones, and I've used it for the you know, the other Perfect Genetics thumbnails. So I'm going to do that and click add text. It's going to open up your text box. I'm just going to do perfect, and I'm going to add another text box, genetics, Perfect Genetics, add another box, and we're going to do CAS option 3. Okay, obviously we're not going to leave it like that, so what you do is just click on it and drag it, and it'll move it about. So once you've got your text, you can then do lots of things to this. You can make it bigger. Now you can make it bigger down here, but I always like to just pull the box, and it just makes it a lot easier, I think. So you're just going to do that with your perfect. You go down to this box again, don't worry if your box goes off here, it makes no difference whatsoever. Okay, I'm just going to kind of position these where I want them to go and to get the kind of right size. It can be hard to decide for yourself. This website isn't hard, but trying to decide for yourself the positions of things can be. Okay, I want to make this bigger again. Okay. And And I always kind of like to sit back and see if that's in alignment. Now, I don't want to leave it black because I want it to kind of tie in with the green theme, which is her. So what you can do is you can pick up this little, see at the side here, you can, at the side you can use the colour picker to do it, or if you've got a specific colour that you want to use, you click on this sidebar here and then you click on it. So say I wanted to use the colour of her eyes, for example, that could do that. Or if I wanted to use the colour of the sort of darkest green in her hair, I would do that, and as you can see, it's changed the colour. For the next one, jump into the box and then choose the colour on the letter, because you might get a different part of her hair. And then on here as well, you're going to do the same, and you're just going to do that, and that's going to get you the exact same colour. Because if you used, if you moved this about, it's very highly unlikely you would get the same colour. So there is a very simple thumbnail. Now, obviously it's on a white background, but I do feel it's still quite eye-catching because you get to see the sim, you've got on it what the actual thumbnail is all about, and it catches your eye, you know what you're signing up to. Again, there is advanced techniques, as I said, which I'll cover in the next episode using GIMP, but I am pretty happy with that thumbnail, and it may be the one that I do use. I don't know, I might use the GIMP one. But if you want to add a little bit of pizzazz to this particular one, you can go into effects, and there's different things you can do. So you can use things like this Orton. Now that just gives her a bit of a glow, and it makes her look not as plain, you see that? And you often have options on here, and I just generally just stick on one of these options, and then I will just play about with the sliders and just see what I can do, really. And that just gives her almost like a highlight, which I really like, so I'm just going to use that. And it kind of brings her to the focus a lot more. It makes the colours a bit more richer. You got things you can do, like you can soften it all down if you wanted, you can boost the colour. Again, you would just put the strength to what you would want it to be, but I'm going to cancel out of that. You can also put a kind of frost around it if you wanted, and you can change the size of that frost so it can make it look quite nice with a colour intensity, or you can do like a dark edge to make it very smoky if you like. And again, you can bring that right in or put that so it's just barely touching the edges, and again you can change the kind of colour of that as well. So if you want to almost have it like a banner of green, then you could do that, and it's just the slightest hint round about here that just jazzes it up slightly, and I kind of like that, so I'm going to keep that because, like I say, it just ties it all in together and just makes it look quite jazzy. Now you also have things in here where you can do like a tint to the whole thing. Like if you wanted to do like a green tint, you could. That's taking it too far really, but you could. You've also got burst here, which will add vibrance to the picture pretty much if you wanted to do that, but you don't have to. There's also this one which I use quite a lot. It's called radiance, and if you pick a colour on her, like her head, okay, or say this green for example, where am I going with this? Right, so if you go up here and you wanted to have a bit of radiance on her, say, or if you wanted the radiance to be over here by the letters, you could kind of do that if you wanted. Again, you could affect the radius. It's like window wipers washing her away, but you can affect the radius if you want. You also have things like sun glow, so that would add, essentially like it says, a sort of glow to it as if the sun is shining on her. We've also got spotlight. If you wanted to focus purely on her, you could do that. And you've also got pixelate as well, so if you wanted her to be a surprise, like if you're like, well, I don't want to give it away in my thumbnail, but I want them to kind of get the idea that she is, green haired or whatever, you could do that. You could take the pixel sizes down so that they see her but not fully, and the focal size, you could just bring that in So you can maybe like just pixelate one part of her and then just highlight her breast or something. Why you would want to do that, I don't know, but it's an option. You've also got your focal zoom, so it makes things look as if things are going super duper fast if you want. Again, you've got your fancy focus, so there's loads of options. What I would say is really play about with it and really see what you actually want. What do you want your thumbnail to look like? Once you're done, you want to save it. Okay, now I always save it in the size Sean. Roger Pearson Sean. I'm pretty sure that's to do with like James Bond. Pretty sure, don't know. But it generally gives you a file size of 379 kilobytes. The standard size for YouTube thumbnails is no bigger than 2 megabytes, so it's a perfectly sized, even if you go to the highest quality. Yeah, and you're just going to save it whatever you want. So PG option 3. And I just save things to my desktop because then I know what it is. And I do clean up my desktop quite a lot. As you can see, I don't have a lot on my desktop apart from animal. I love this background. It's like changes like quite a lot, and it's got like, I'm just going to tell you, it's got animals giving each other affection, like, oh, the little dog with the kitten, so adorable, to whatever they are, penguins, 2 fish, but there's a gorgeous one which is 2 Burmese cats. And obviously anyone that watches my videos will know that I have 2 Burmese cats. Where the frick are they? Oh, how cute are they, honest to God. So it's called Animal Affection, and it's so cute. Look, and that is the colours of my cat, so whenever Sam's older, that's pretty much what it's going to be like. So anyway, for those that don't know me, and for those that maybe just came here for a tutorial, thank you for listening. And please don't forget to hit the subscribe button for other tutorials that may help you out with your YouTube channel. But I hope that you enjoyed this, and it's picmonkey.com. Any questions, leave it in the down bar below, and the next tutorial video will be all about GIMP and how to use PicMonkey more advanced. But I hope that you can use this to create really nice thumbnails. And yeah, I hope to talk to you soon, guys. Love yous. Bye.